It's Don here from the board. Thanks for coming along and checking out this video. So today we're going to be having a look at a cheap SA keyset from KBD Fans. Now I'm just going to adjust my mic because I realize it's kind of sitting pretty far away here and I'm a bit on the lazy side and I don't want to reshoot that intro. So the backstory on this is I have my Downbubble project, which is sitting on the table right now, which I will switch over so you can see what I'm talking about. If you're not familiar with it, this is my own custom keyboard prototype. It's a hefty hunk of aluminium and it's currently not finished. So I have a PCB, but I'm currently still waiting for switches. And I do get people who ask me from time to time what's happened to that project. And right now I'm still waiting for box pink switches to come into DailyClack from Novelkeys. So if you're out there and you want to see this completed, please try and help that along by, I don't know, suggesting to Mike from Novelkeys, when are we going to get more box pinks being available for DailyClack to purchase? That said, I still need keycaps to actually kit out this keyboard once it was finished. I currently only have one full sculpted SA keyset, and that was actually built completely from vomit grab bag sets. So it's very multicolored, and it's the one that you would have seen potentially on my Imager album, which was the 3D printed prototype of this particular keyboard. So I started looking around and asking if anybody had any cheap keysets that they had available, and somebody from the Australian Slack said, yes, I've actually got a PBT keyset from KBD Fans that I don't actually use. It's spare. If you would like to purchase them off me, please do. So I did. And that's what I've got in this bag over here today. But I just want to show you what it's meant to look like. We'll have a look at the keycaps, how thick they are, and the print quality and all that kind of stuff. And then I want to lay them out very quickly on this keyboard so it'll kind of give you an idea of what it looks like to actually have a keyset on it, even though they're probably going to slide around a bit because they don't have switches to sit on. So that's where we're at. Let's flick over to the monitor. And so that is the actual set. I did quite like it when it was shown to me because it's very simple colors. It's not going to sit in an office and be outstandingly loud and look, well, I won't say unprofessional because my vomit keyset already is highly unprofessional in that context, but at least moving to this, it might actually not look so bad. I don't know about what highlights I would use, but you know what? It adds a bit of color, adds a bit of fun to it as well, so it's not so boring, but we'll see how it pairs up with the raw aluminium that I've got here. So let us open this up and check it out. Now yes, I probably could build this keyboard with a completely different type of switch and then change them out, but I really don't want to have to do that. I'd rather sort of build it and then just enjoy it and let it run its course and its natural life. So we'll see. And I'm a patient man, I believe. I'm a patient man. So I've got time to wait. And as we can see through the bag, it looks to be exactly what is in the picture we just saw. And there you go. Now the color that we're seeing on the screen here relative to the room lighting is, I would say, it's actually quite reasonably representative. It's probably a little bit darker in the yellow tone light than what is actually happening on my screen here from the camera. So I think the camera is doing a bit of white balance adjustment to compensate for the room lighting there. But, you know, I think it looks pretty decent, actually, against the aluminium there. So, it's probably, I would say it looks a bit more bluer on the camera than in person. It has a little bit more of a green, but it's not quite a vibrant green like a pulse green. That pulse teal color, if you're familiar with that, which I know a lot of people would be very, very familiar with that. Now this is a PBT Dyesub keycap, so you're not going to expect to see a double shot of color on the inside. And let's have a look at how it's pretty clean, it's pretty crisp. And of course, in hindsight, I probably should have got my other camera set up and we could look at it under the usual loop that I'm going to do right now to have a look at it. The fuzziness isn't actually too bad. I would actually say the amount of bleed on this is very, very minimum, so I'm pretty happy with how that is. Now let's see if I can hold steady. Okay, so you can kind of see as I'm not doing a great job of it. Oh, trying to maintain the focus. Most of that's actually because of my moving, and it's not actually because the Dyesub is not clean or crisp. So that's one thing to note. Just on a single keycap, that at least it looks pretty good. Now in terms of the thickness though, they do look pretty thin. They do look pretty thin. I'm just gonna use these plastic calipers, and yeah, they're only a 1mm. I'm not gonna say that they are the thick PBT that you would expect to find on some of the signature plastic ones that you can get, or other brands, for example. This is really just a no brand, I guess. But you know what? I'm just gonna squeeze that. It's very much very solid. Ooh, that didn't sound good at all. I kind of just squeezed that a little bit hard and I heard a crackling noise. Highly advise you not to do that. Okay. So it looks all right in terms of fitment. So let's just get my standard switch in there. Yeah, the spacebar is all right. I wouldn't say it's terribly tight, but is it going to come off? It's not really lifting, so that's good. Of course, this single random keycap that I've nope, that's good. So I'd be pretty happy with that. Now, I actually don't know how much these retail for, but I'm feeling they're sitting around. I really don't want to throw out a number and misrepresent it. So what I am actually going to do is I'm going to go to KBD Fans and see if I can find what they currently retail for. As you can see, well-prepared video content as usual. Keycaps, SA profile. Let's see what a typical set is going to look like, if the colors are going to load. Okay, so this is called Retro Beige SA PBT. Yes, it is the Retro Beige profile. So normally it's $100, but it's on special right now for $75.90. So let's just switch back over. That is what we're looking at, pretty much, isn't it? Check that out. Looks spot on, exactly the same picture. So we're looking at 134 keys in theory, Dyesub, 1mm thickness. There you go. So they tell you straight up it's a 1mm. SA, made in China, it's unbranded, and that's what you get. Rightio, easy. That was a lot less painful than I thought it would be to find. So let's quickly see what it would look like to kit out this keyboard. That the right way? Maybe? One, two, three. This is almost it's almost like playing a puzzle, isn't it? Oh, 0. I think that's a 0. Pipe key is going to be there. U. Doop, doop. Even though I'm a touch typer, I still have to think. I still have to think really hard about where things are. No, that's going to be around there, isn't it? 3, 4, 5. F12 is somewhere up there. 1 will be there. H is on that side. I can tell by doing this activity already that the smoothness of this is actually not super smooth, because the keycaps aren't sort of gliding around smoothly either, which is kind of a bit of a concern. I wouldn't say a massive concern, but a little bit of a concern. I think my T is going to be on, is that right? Well, that's obviously stepped in the wrong size. Pause or something. I think my pause is up there, the way that I have it set. Arrow key, right shift, num lock, and that control's way too big. Starting to come together now a little bit. F1, 2, 3, F2, 4, tilde. There we go. That's the right control that I'm looking for. F9 will be over there somewhere. There's my dot. Function, single function, no good. Up, short shift, more short keys. Delete, that's a fat, out. Oh. There's a plus. Page down, I believe is there. 8. 6. Another dodgy caps lock. I don't use the insert key. B8 will be up there. See. Right. Okay. That's an I. Somewhere around there. U, I, O, P. Arrow key. 1. Lefty. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is where it's going to look a little bit rough, because I've obviously got my mods split in that context, so that might not look so good, but then again it might be okay. Move that spacebar out of the way. Well, you know, two brown on one side and 2 on the other might be actually okay. 9 J, where is it? There it is. ASD. Another shift. 2. Square bracket is on bottom, so that'll be that one. No. Oops, wrong row. That would explain it. Yes, I do an amazing job at remembering how to touch type. F, because that's a homing. I saw the G over here earlier. So there's the G. QWER. Meta. There's the R. Home. Actually, I think I've got home up here, and then I've got end and delete is where those other ones are. Yeah, so I've got delete at the bottom. There's my long right shift. Now, is that actually, that must be O, surely. Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out. There is 0. Code button. There's my backspace. X F6. F1. Got a spare artisan. That's a larger alt than I want. Single backspace. There's a lot of keys in this set. 134 as you would have seen just before. There's the standard. Don't use that one. Oh, I could use that one, but it's alright. J, K, Z. Goes that way. F, N, 11, F12. Yeah, that's probably where it's going. It's caught. Oh yeah. 9, 10, and that goes over 1. F4. Uh-oh. What? 7. Alright. Of course, after doing all of this, I'm just going to have to take it all apart again at some point in time, aren't I? Yes, I will. Because then I've got to do this all over again. Now, I believe I have a 1U spacing over here for something, for that control. So I will need to find something that will fit in there. Could probably use that, for example, because then I've got the function keys and stuff like that. The Windows key function key there as well. Okay. Another type 5. X. That's a bit of a unusual one. I don't know what that could have been used for, I guess. Okay. Tab. And go with that caps lock. There's the 9. 7. There's N. V, Control V, Control B. There's that. Starting to come together now. I've already got a tilde, so that's fine. I have another meta. Okay, so I should be able to find a page up somewhere. There we go. And then there should be, okay, so there's like a super, and then so that'll probably be something like that. Like that. And then of course I've actually got some keys there which I will potentially fill in using grab bag keycaps. So one of them's a 2 and the other one is a 225. So 225 is should be on that one, I believe, and that should be the 2. Yep. And there we go. There's that. Interestingly, what am I missing? So there's the slash. That must be the multiplier. And then there's got to be that negative. There we go. So that's what that one is. Okay, and then it's just a 125, I think, off the top of my head. Something like that. That'll fit in there. Is that? That's a bit tight. So I don't think that's. It should be a 125. There we go. There we go. So using that complete set, that is what the Downbubble would look like with that complete on it. And now I'm just trying to think what's the best way of showing the actual profile. I can lift it up to that front facing camera and we should be able to see kind of how the depth of that is. So you'll see there's just a bit of that actually sticking out from that. So it's got quite a bit of depth in it. It's not exactly even to the top of the keycaps, but it does give a lot of depth. So this is in the fully depressed position. So naturally when you've actually got a switch in it, it's going to sit further up. So when you fully press it down, this is what it would look like, and it's not deep enough to completely sink all of the keycap into that, which I think is okay. You know, if I'd lifted the actual height and thickness of the case even further to cover the top of the SA keycap, then that would be really deep. That would be really deep. You'd probably be looking at what, an extra. What's that? Need another 6 mil to actually make that happen for bottom out to be completely flush or deeper than the top of this case, which is actually a lot of extra depth. That would make this entire case even further. Ooh, my bad. It's alright, it's just a plastic one. At the moment, this is already 39 mil from the desk to the top here. So if I added another 6 mil, you'd be looking at yeah, 45 mil deep, almost 2 whole inches in depth. Absolute beast. All right, so you know, it's probably a bit of a boring one for most people today. I do apologize a little bit about that, and at the same time I don't apologize, because you know what, being a content creator is actually pretty hard. Always constantly finding something to be able to talk about that's different and new. And not that I'm bashing other people who do a lot of videos but all they do is the same very similar thing, i.e. you know, build keyboards and put them together. I'd like to offer a bit more variety in the types of things that I'm showing and seeing and talking about, so you get a bit more of a rounded picture on what is out there involved with keyboards, not just putting them together and what they sound like or what they look like, but I guess this kind of falls into that space. I do hope in the next couple of weeks coming along that I'll have some more interesting things that I can show and play with and, you know, discuss. But if you do have any suggestions on what you would like to see me make videos on, if it's within my ability to do so, within my finances to do so, then please, by all means, let me know and we'll see if we can make them happen. Now, one of the comments from recently on our YouTube channel was that there was a bit of a missed opportunity because we could have called ourselves the Boardcast instead of the Board Podcast. But you know what? Opportunity for somebody else because they've already taken that channel name on YouTube. Hopefully it's going to be mechanical keyboard related, and if it is, please go check them out and support them as well, because no doubt it doesn't mean you can't subscribe and follow other people just because you follow one particular person either. Now, of course, the reminder there is that if you do want more keyboard content, we've also got our podcast series, which we try to release weekly, where we talk to people in the community, we talk about things that happen in the community and what's going on. So please check that out. You can find us by Googling the Board Podcast. We're on iTunes, though iTunes is about to go bunk and turn into Apple Music, but we're on Spotify, we're on Google Play Music, we're on iHeartRadio, radio.com, as well as finding our posts on Reddit and Facebook. So there you have it. And I want to say thank you, of course, to all of our Patreon supporters who've been hanging in there and helping us out, because their support enables me to get things like this and to make prototypes like that and run, of course, all the other projects that we have happening in the background. So there you go. Thanks very much for checking out this video. Please hit that like button if you like it. Hit that dislike button if you didn't like it. Leave me some comments below. And of course, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And of course, as usual, until next time, happy clacking.